A woman wants her husband to wear black shoes with his suit. But her husband doesn't want to, he prefers brown shoes. So what do? They compromise, they meet halfway. And, you guessed it, he wears one black and one brown shoe. Is this the best outcome? No. In fact, that's the worst possible outcome. Either of the two other outcomes, black or brown, would be better than the compromise. Next time you want to compromise, remind yourself of those mismatched shoes. Chris Voss. Can you negotiate to get what you want without giving in? Chris Voss, who wrote the book, was the FBI's top hostage negotiator. After dozens of tough talks with kidnappers from all over the world, Chris Voss has learned that it takes tactical empathy to get what he wants, avoid compromises, and make the other side feel like they were treated fairly, both in his own business and later as a consultant for business people all over the world. Tactical empathy is when you genuinely care about your opponent's situation and then try to get them to care about yours. Be empathetic. During psychotherapy, a psychiatrist helps a patient talk while he or she listens very carefully. Psychiatrists know that until a patient feels heard, they will be defensive and resistant to change. Same thing with a negotiation. During a negotiation, your opponent will refuse any offer you make until you show that you understand what they're saying and how they're feeling. So, the first goal of a negotiation is to listen carefully to your counterpart's worries and concerns. Then, you should use a sentence that starts with "it seems like," or "it sounds like," to sum up their worries and concerns. It seems like you care a lot about, or it sounds like you care a lot about. The great thing about these statements is that if you're wrong, you won't hurt the conversation because you can say, "I didn't say that's how it was, it just seems that way." But if the other person says, "That's right," in response to your summary, you'll know that you've made them feel heard. When you hear "that's right," your opponent will be ready to listen to what you have to say and move away from their first position. Ask for empathy. Now that you've made a connection with the other person by understanding their situation, ask them to do the same for you. Get them to think about your problems and come up with ideas for how to solve them. The best way to get your opponent to think about and solve one of your problems is to ask, "How am I supposed to do that?" in response to one of their ideas. Let's say you were renting an apartment and your landlord told you that he was going to raise the rent from $1,200 per month to $1,500 per month. In this case, you could say, "It seems like you're worried that your apartment is undervalued and you want what's fair, but how am I supposed to pay $1,500 per month when I only make enough at work to pay $1,200 per month?" The most important thing is to ask, "How am I supposed to do that?" In the same way you would say, "I respect your intelligence, can you please help me solve my problem?" If you've made the other person feel heard and built a relationship with them, you can ask them, "How am I supposed to do that?" This is a calibrated question. Most likely, the other person will do one of two things. 1. Think of a creative way for both of you to get what's most important to you. 2. Raise or lower their first request to make room for you. If they come back with an offer that doesn't work for you, you just ask a slightly different question. Back to the rental example, if your landlord lowered the rent to $1,400 per month, you would say, "That's very kind of you, and that's probably the lowest you can go, but I just don't see how I'm supposed to pay $1,400 per month to stay here when I can rent a similar apartment nearby for less than $1,200 per month." He who has learned to disagree without being disagreeable has discovered the most valuable secret of negotiation. Chris Voss.